Good afternoon, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, more likely than not that you're the person that committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this afternoon. That is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have the right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, none but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Jonathan Richardson. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
6/1/95.
Mr. Richardson, you're here today on a couple of warrants. The first is a warrant signed by Judge Toner. And then we have a second charge, which is an ag assault. So there's probable cause for the charges. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. You'll have to leave the microphone.
Can you repeat those charges?
The warrant is grand theft, driving on a suspended license, resisting without violence, and leaving the scene. The new charge is an ag assault. Would you like the public defender?
When did I get an aggravated assault?
Mr. Richardson, you've got to back away from the microphone. I can't understand a word that you are saying.
When did I get an aggravated assault?
Do you want the public defender?
I'm saying, when did I get
I'm not discussing that with you. Do you want the public defender? I'll appoint the public defender. And Steve looks like he has an open case. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, an open case with the date of offense March 10th, as well as a history.
Well, hey, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Following to my arrest, I wasn't read my members' rights, and like the charges that were warrants or whatever I have, I don't know anything about these warrants. I don't know how they came about.
Mr. Richardson, I'm not hearing anything you're saying. It's like talking to the drive-thru at Jack in the Box. I have no idea what you're saying because you won't back off of the microphone.
Can you hear me?
If you don't put your mouth on the microphone, yeah.
Alright, what I said was, I wasn't read my Miranda's rights. When I was arrested, I was asked questions before handcuffs was put on me.
That will be important things for you to talk to your lawyer about.
Okay. Another thing. These charges, like, I don't know how, when they came about or whatever, but there's no, I don't understand nothing that's going on right now.
Okay. All that's going on now is, one, I'm telling you there's a warrant. Some other judge found a probable cause finding. The other
Do I have videos or any witnesses or anything?
All this is a first appearance. Do you have ears? Have you heard anything I've said?
What?
Exactly. So here's what we're going to do on these new cases. I'll leave the bonds in the first instance pursuant to the warrant, which is $2,000 on the grand theft, $500 on the other 3 counts, $1,000 on the assault. They're all coming back on the 23rd of August, which is where your other case is, and your other case, which is 19 CF 491. I'm going to revoke your pretrial release. Job number 1 when you're out on bond is don't pick up new criminal charges. It appears that you have, so pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'll revoke your bond. In your first case, all your cases coming back August 23rd. PD will come see you before then. Thank you very much. They'll explain it to you. Hey, you got somebody on first appearance? Okay. Vicki Rose Anderson. Anderson, what's your date of birth?
09/23/1964.
Charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I don't see what I did really wrong.
Oh.
But
Okay.
I guess a public defender.
There
would
you
be
go.
fine.
Thank you, Vicki. I'll appoint the public defender. State any history.
Your Honor, just a dropped battery in 2010 with the same victim, and the victim is present, wants to address contact.
Okay. Mr. Anderson, come up forward. Raise your right hand for me, sir.
Donnie Anderson?
There you go. Solemnly swear firm tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Now you can state your name.
Donnie Anderson?
All right. And Mr. Anderson, are you telling me that you'd like to have contact with
I
him?
didn't know he was
Yes.
there.
Peaceful contact,
Right.
sir?
Right. How long have you known Vicki?
We've been married 32 years, sir.
Okay. And are you concerned that she's going to hurt you or harm you in any way?
No, sir.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you to get you to come here today?
No, sir.
Okay. Very good. All right. So, Vicki, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to set your bond at $10. Condition of the bond is that if you're going to have contact with Donnie, it has to be peaceful contact. It's always a crime to touch him anyway. He does not want to be touched. It could be a violation of your condition of pretrial release if you have any contact with him that cannot be described as peaceful. So even so much as raising your voice, you could find yourself back in jail. So all contact is peaceful. Donnie, as far as you're concerned, this doesn't change anything. If something should happen that makes you think you should call 911, you should call 911. They'll come just like they always would. You're free to go get her out of jail now if you want her.
I moved out this morning for now.
Okay.
For temporary.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right. So, Vicki, you'll be back in court on the 16th of August. You guys can have contact as long as it's peaceful, okay?
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Kayla Kingsland? Morning, Kayla. What's your date of birth?
6/11/73.
Kayla, I have 2 charges today. I have a tampering or harassing a victim or witness and battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
No prior criminal history, Your Honor.
Okay. And Vicki, or Kayla, excuse me, I have an address for you on Kirkland Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
10 months.
Okay. And you live there with Jeffrey and Keegan?
Yep.
Okay. You have a job these days.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I teach.
Okay. There's nobody here on this one, State?
No, Your Honor.
He should be there.
He's not.
There's a victim present that knows Kayla Kingsland.
No.
What's his name?
Jeffrey Green.
We'll see if he's in the hallway.
Jeffrey Graham?
Green.
Green. I mean, Jeffrey Smith, I'm pretty sure.
No, is it?
Thank you, Mr. Green.
Good afternoon.
Raise your hand for me. solemnly swear firm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
State your name.
Jeffrey Green, Jr.
Mr. Green. Obviously, we have Kayla here for her first appearance. You've missed what we've done so far, but are you interested in being able to have contact with Kayla going forward?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I was actually here before to request,
Okay.
like a peaceful contact
There we
or.
go. That's what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Kayla, I'm going to set your bond at $50 on each count. That's a total of $100. Condition of the bond is that you may have peaceful contact with Jeffrey and Keegan. You heard me explain what peaceful contact means. As far as you understand, Jeffrey, any way to touch you that you don't want to be touched is not allowed. It's a violation of the law. As far as her bond is concerned, the contact must be peaceful, so much as raising her voice. If I find out about it, could result in her bond being revoked and being sent back to jail without bond.
Understood.
Right?
Yeah.
If you haven't kept your appointment with the state attorney's office, make sure you do. Make sure you
Yeah, that's
contact
next week,
with
I
them.
believe, yeah.
Very good, so that they know what you're interested in as an outcome from all of this, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so Kayla, you'll be back in court on the 28th of August. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Very good?
Yes.
You're all set, sir.
You're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kelly Morissette.
Thank God we have a drug charge now.
Hi, sir.
Afternoon, Kelly. What's your date of birth?
Good afternoon, 11/19/1982.
Kelly, I have two charges. You've got possession of hashish, possession of marijuana. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I would like the public defender to please, and I do just want to add in there that I do have my medical marijuana card. I had honestly just went to the dispensary to purchase the product that I got pulled over with, and when they did that, they put my medical marijuana card.
Kelly. Now's not the time to talk about it. Probable cause, as you heard me explain at the beginning, is a low standard. More likely than not, they have to prove that you did something illegal beyond a reasonable doubt. So let's not talk about the facts today, okay?
Okay.
All right. So state any history.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm showing that the defendant currently is in drug offender PTI for paraphernalia, possession of marijuana less than 20, and possession of synthetic. And she went in that in March of 2019 in Hernando County. A violation of injunction adjudication in 2015 in Hernando County. Criminal use, personal ID information adjudication withheld in 09, as well as fraudulent use of credit card in 09. A adjudication withheld for grand theft in 09, and whether criminal history, Your Honor.
Okay. Kelly, I have an address for you on Kimball Court in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
6 months.
Do you have a job these days?
I do. I work at Steak and Shake for 2 years now.
Okay. You set your bond at $500 on each count. That's a total of $1,000. You're going to be back to court on the 28th of August. A couple of things. When you get out, very important that you contact the public defender and also whoever is supervising you on the PTI, all right?
Definitely, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pedro Harris. Afternoon, Mr. Harris. What's your date of birth?
11/28/78.
Mr. Harris, the first thing I have for you is a warrant signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for one count of retail theft as a third or subsequent offense. Next thing is also a warrant signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for 2 counts, a retail theft as a third or subsequent offense, and a trespass. You have a third warrant also signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for 1 count of resisting without violence. And then finally, the 4th warrant signed by Judge Scaglione, or by Judge Merritt, who found probable cause for a retail theft. As to those charges, then, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
A public defender, sir.
Very good. I'll point
But
this
sir, this is my first time admitting that I have an opiate problem, and I would have never been in those situations if it wasn't for this opiate problem I have. And I ask seriously if you can translate this to a public defender to get me help.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Harris, again, has been the theme of the day. This is not the time for that. All I'm doing now is letting you know that there are charges, that probable cause exists for those charges. I've appointed the public defender, and that person to speak to about all of that will be the public defender who will come and see you very shortly, okay?
Yes. Can I ask you a question, sir?
Sure.
Is that feasible to get opiate help for my problem so I won't do this no more?
Well, there certainly are all sorts of programs available for folks, but you're going to have to discuss that with the assistant public defender who comes to see you, okay?
You think that's feasible though? Is that something that could be done?
I have no idea about your history about these particular charges other than what I read in the warrants. Again, for the third time, that's something for you to discuss with your assistant public defender, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just hang tight for a second. State any history.
Adjudication 2018 for a petty theft. Adjudication in 2017 for a grand theft. An adjudication in 2017 for a vertical structure. Adjudication in 2016 for no valid DL. And a battery pretrial diversion in 2001. Not showing any other history.
And Pedro, where you been staying lately?
I've been staying basically homeless, pretty much from place to place on the streets.
Okay.
Like he just read you my history, and when I started having problems with criminal record is when I started getting opiates. But last time I had got in trouble, I didn't admit to my problem. And this time I'm admitting that I have a problem with it and I need help, sir.
Okay, all right. So I'll tell you what, on the first one then, Pedro, the Judge Merritt's warrant on the petty theft, I'll leave that at 500. I'm going to move the court date on that one to August 16th. On the second one, which is a resisting charge, I'm going to set the bond on that at 500. I'm also going to move that one to the 16th of August, because those two charges are misdemeanors, so those will be coming back on the 16th.
Yes, sir.
All right, hang on. Then, on the next warrant, which has the felony retail theft and the trespass, we'll set the bonds on those at $2,000 and $500 respectively. That's coming back on the 28th of August. On the next warrant, which is the felony retail theft, I'm going to set the bond on that at $2,000. That's also coming back on the 28th of August. If I did the math right, your total all the way around is $5,500. Like I said, you got two different court dates. You got issues, obviously. If you don't bond out, the public defender will come see you at the jail and start talking about these cases and your issues. If you do bond out, it's very important that you go see them right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Good luck.
Yes, sir.
Brian Martin. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
August 3rd, 1983.
Brian, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for 4 charges: witness tampering, domestic battery, criminal mischief, and trespass. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Yes, Your Honor. 2006 adjudication for possession of marijuana. The possession of synthetic adjudication in 2006, as well as possession with intent, deliver schedule adjudication in 06, and no other history that's actually convicted.
And Mr. Martin, I have an address for you on West Beaumont Lane in Homosassa. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you lived there?
2 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm a carpenter.
Okay. To set your bond at $2,000 on each count, that's a total of 8. The condition of that bond is that you'll have no contact with Rebecca Klein. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. You don't contact her through any social media. Don't go where she lives. Don't go where she works. Don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine having contact with her, I forbid you to do that. You have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. Means no contact even if she wants the contact, so if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision she gets to make. She might go to the state attorney's office and request that they drop the charges, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they're not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I have to hold you up until 4 p.m. this afternoon, so if you want to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only would you get your bond revoked here, but you'd get new charges for violating the injunction. I'll have you back in court on the 28th of August. If you get out, very important that you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Brandon Smith? Afternoon, Mr. Smith. What's your date of birth?
July 1st, 1997.
Brandon, I have two charges today. I've got a battery being domestic in nature and a charge of violation of conditions of pretrial release. There's probable cause for the charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
Point to PD state? Other than the open case in Seminole County?
Pardon me, Your Honor?
He has an open case in Seminole County. I think that's where the pretrial release violation comes from.
Yeah, the violation of injunction in 2018, a criminal mischief adjudication in 2016, an aggravated battery with a deadly weapon where a state prison sentence was imposed in 2016, and then a lengthy delinquency history.
Okay. Brandon, where you been staying lately?
Everywhere.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
I'll set the bond at $1,000 on each charge. That's a total of $2. Condition of the bond is that you'll have no contact with Victoria Neecham. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Also going to hold you out until 4, so if she wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. You'll be back in court on these on the 28th of August. Very important that you contact the public defender should you get out, okay? Thank you. John Smith? Mr. Smith, what's your date of birth?
7/31/67.
Smith, I have two charges, battery being domestic in nature and a disorderly intoxication. There's probable cause for the charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
The victim is present once
Okay.
I address the court. And then for the history, cruelty to animals adjudication in 2015, as well as an adjudication for domestic violence battery in 2014. It looks like a jail sentence was imposed. In 2004, adjudication was held for abused child without great bodily harm. And an aggravated battery with no disposition out of Winter Springs in 1997.
All right. Ms. Smith, you want to come forward? Ms. Smith?
That's not her last name. It's,
Oh,
I don't know if there's an error in it. Come forward, man.
Laura? Is your first name Laura? Okay. Raise your hand for me. Solemnly swear firm, tell truth, whole truth, none but the truth.
Yes.
State State your name.
Laura McIntosh.
All right. Laura, what do you want? First of all, how do you know John here?
I've known John since I was 13 years old.
Okay. You guys are romantically involved?
Yes, we are.
Okay. And are you looking to have contact with John?
Yes, sir. I didn't even know about any of this till I was delivered this at 11 o'clock last night. I have no idea how this happened.
Okay. Well, all right.
He's never, I don't understand, nothing.
And that was my next question. You're not concerned that he's going to hurt you or harm you in any way?
Not at all.
Anyone threaten you or coerce you to get you to come here to ask for contact?
No. Thank you.
So, John, on the domestic battery, I'm going to set your bond at $10. On the disorderly intox at $100. Condition on the domestic is that you have peaceful contact with Laura. You've heard me talk about peaceful contact here this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Very good. You'll be back in court on the 16th of August. Very important in your case that you contact the public defender when you get out. So, Laura, y'all can have contact. He's eligible to bond out now. Obviously, this wasn't you that called 911 to start any of this.
No.
Were there ever any reason? Of course, you still get the call, but y'all can have contact, and you can get him out now, okay?
Where do I do that?
At the jail? You know where the jail is?
No, I don't know anything.
Right, because why would you, right? It's on Spring Hill Drive, on the east end.
Mom,
Okay.
do you know where Spring Hill Drive is?
You'll find it. You got a cell phone?
That's his mom.
You can just Google it.
You put it in. You'll
I
find it.
put jail in
Fernando County Jail.
Fernando County Detention Center, I think is what it is.
Fernando County. You know
Yep.
Fernando County?
She'll come find you, John. All right, make
Thank
sure
you,
you
sir.
contact the PD when you get out.
I will.
Robert Walsh. Afternoon, Mr. Walsh. What's your date of birth?
7/10/69.
Mr. Walsh, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
All right. And it appears that you're also currently on felony probation in Hernando County. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And there's probable cause arrest for the VOP. State what you tell me.
Pardon me?
Hang on.
Oh.
An adjudication on foul, the 19 for the resist without violence. Adjudication in 2015 for a DUI on Hernando County, and no other history.
And sir, I have an address for you on Montano Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
I've owned the home for 10 years.
All right. And you have a job these days?
Yes, sir. I own a paintless vent repair company.
Set the bond at $500 on the battery. Condition is that you have no contact with Carolyn Walsh. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Very good. That case is coming back on August 16th. Because there's a probable cause arrest for the felony violation of probation, your bond on the felony VOP, I'll appoint the public defender there as well. That, however, is going to be no bond. When you get in front of the judge on your felony VOP, they can reinstate that bond if they think it's appropriate. But that case will be back the 28th of August. Public defender will come see you at the jail before your court dates, okay?
So the bond was $5,000.
Wasn't there a bond on that?
The bond was set by the arresting officer, and I have no idea why.
Oh.
What's that? No, that's not how we do it. So, I wouldn't bond him. I mean, he's right in the middle of 3 years of probation on a felony charge. So, if you guys want to make an argument to whoever put him on probation, I'm sure they'll listen to it. All right, thank you, sir. Daniel Zirk. Mr. Zirk, what's your date of birth?
07/26/96, sir.
You're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause, well, 4 warrants for violations of probation in each case, set your bond at no bond in each case. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please, sir.
Appoint the PD. Bond will stay at the no bond. You'll be back in front of Judge Toner on August 28th. PD will come see you before then, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Alvin Esquilin. Alvin, apparently you had a first appearance over the weekend, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did the judge explain to you your options was the waiver of extradition?
I wish you waive it. I wish you I'm trying to understand because you dismissed the charges last time and they picked me up on the same charges again.
Okay. All right. So we have a warrant for you out of Louisiana. You're out
for justice.
What's that?
A fugitive for justice charge?
Right. And do you want to sign the waiver, or are you wanting to have an extradition hearing?
So what that means, that they put him on a clock again, 21 days to pick me up?
Well, if you sign the waiver, Louisiana will be contacted immediately and told they have 15 days to come get you. If they haven't picked you up in 15 days, they bring you back to see me and find out if they plan on coming or if they decided they don't want to come. If they're not coming, then you get released.
Yeah, I'm not going to sign the waiver, no.
You do want to sign the waiver?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, you're not getting out. You understand that, right?
I'm not getting out.
No, I'm going to hold you without bond, and we're going to set up an extradition hearing.
And when is that?
Well, as soon as I can get it set up, and I don't know, I'll put it on a 10-day track so I can find out that the state has set up the extradition hearing for you. And by the way, if we set up an extradition hearing, we could turn out that you're the right guy and Louisiana has a valid warrant and you're going to get extradited to Louisiana anyway. But if you want a hearing, that's your right, and I'll make sure that it gets set up. So do you want the hearing or do you want to sign the waiver?
So if I sign the waiver, what's going to happen?
We're going to contact Louisiana right away, and they're going to get told they have 15 days to come get you. If you're still here in 15 days, they'll bring you back to see me, and I'll find out what's going on.
If I sign the waiver?
Yes.
I thought that means that if I sign the waiver, I stay in the jail until Louisiana decide to come get me.
Yes. There's no getting out of jail today if that's what you're thinking. You're going to stay in jail till Louisiana comes and gets you, or until we have an extradition hearing. If we have an extradition hearing, then you may stay in jail a little longer after that while we get Louisiana to come and get you.
I'm confused about the whole process. I'm not understanding nothing.
Okay, this is straight up. This actually is one of the easier things we do. You're entitled to an extradition hearing. The point of that hearing would be to determine whether you're the right Alvin Esquilin and whether there is an active warrant for you in the state of Louisiana. While you're waiting for us to get that hearing done, you're going to wait here in the jail without bond. Then we'll have that hearing. At that hearing, if we determine you're the right guy, the state of Louisiana actually has a warrant for you, then we'll let them know. And from that point, they'll have 15 days to come get you, and then you will go to Louisiana, courtesy of the taxpayers in the state of Louisiana, and figure out what this is about. If you waive that right, we'll tell Louisiana right now they have 15 days. And if you're still here in 15 days, we'll find out what's going on. It may be that they'll say, yes, somebody's almost there, or it may be they say we changed our mind. I don't know. But either you sign the waiver and it's 15 days till you see me again, or you tell me you want an extradition hearing, and I will get the state attorney's office working on it. I'll check with them in 10 days to make sure they're setting something up.
I'll wait for that extradition hearing.
Okay, very good. Mr. Laris, make sure your office knows that Mr. Esquilin would like an extradition hearing. Bridget tickled for 10 days out, whatever the weekday is that happens to be.
Your Honor.
Yes?
One more thing. When you released me last time, you said that I should get on the Greyhound and go back to Louisiana, but they were waiting for me with an ankle bracelet in the front.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble understanding what you're saying.
You was the one that released me last time. You dismissed my charges. These same charges that I'm on, you dismissed them last time.
I didn't dismiss anything from Louisiana. My jurisdiction doesn't get to Citrus County, let alone Louisiana.
You said that you've been having this problem with Louisiana for a long time, and you was gonna release me. I was here for like 45 days.
Well, sometimes it happens that the state that has the warrant decides they're not coming or they don't have any communication with us, and then I have to release you. But that doesn't make the issue go away.
I have the document where the charges were dismissed from the courthouse. These same charges.
Not from this courthouse.
Huh?
Not from this courthouse.
Yes, Your Honor. I have it in my house right now.
Alvin, these are charges from Louisiana. I have nothing to do with it.
But you said for me to go back to Louisiana, but I couldn't go back to Louisiana because they were waiting for me with an ankle bracelet in the front.
Okay, well, Alvin, again, all I can tell you is either you sign the waiver or you don't. You told me you don't want to, so I'm going to set up an extradition hearing for you, all right?
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. You got changes of plea at the jail? Okay.
No, I got a change of plea here.
Oh, nobody at the jail? Done with the jail?
I am.
Okay. You guys are all done?